I did it.
Ding, ding, ding.
I was reaching for it last second. I was like, oh,
you're usually the one who has to remind me that we have to start with a good ding. Guys, welcome to Anchor Watch, our late night below deck chat where we take over Up and Adam's channel to recap and talk about everything below deck yachting, etc. This is an exciting week.
One of the most exciting. Speaking of Mr. Up and Adam, will you be changing your last name to
no
and Adam?
No, I'm not going to be Up and Jason now. So just in case you want to know, that's not happening. Guys, we're going to keep it a little short tonight because tomorrow my mom's coming in town. We just had family in town.
Whatever for, Jason? What for?
We're getting married tomorrow.
Oh my!
We're gonna be
gosh.
husbands, or what do they say? Gusbands? Is that not how they say gay husbands or whatever the hell?
I'll whatever you guys want to be called. I will say this. This feels like it's 90 years in the making. So I'm really excited.
I mean, listen, you were there for our engagement.
Yes,
you were there for. I mean, you've been in my life since 2006, 5, 6.
2000, yeah, 6.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Wow.
That's a long time ago.
Long time.
And Adam's been here for a decade. But guys, this is a big deal tonight because we have a new captain on Below Deck. And not Below Deck Med, Below Deck. Captain Sandy is back in the Caribbean where we want her. And I feel like, the demeanor just changed on Motor Yacht St. David for sure.
We've got a lot to talk about, but before we launch into that, we have our opening segment we have to get to.
Which we have to get to because usually people want to sit on Santa Claus' lap. But tonight, you get your chance on sitting on Captain Sean's lap.
Hey, good evening.
Here we are with Captain Sean. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone.
Hey, happy Hanukkah. Tonight's the third night of Hanukkah.
Third night of Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. Everything else that goes along with that. Listen, I want to, before we start really quick, because I see you guys in the chat a little bit talking about Captain Sandy. We were the first channel, the first show to tell you that Captain Sandy was going to be replacing Captain Lee. And that was over 2 months ago. Just wanted to throw that out there.
We'll pat ourselves on the back later. Let's get back to Sean's lap.
Oh, yeah. Back to Sean's lap. Sean, we have questions for you.
Oh, no. Okay, that's good.
We have questions for you. Let me go down and see what they are.
Wait, Jason. Wait. First of all, Captain Sean, your house looks lovely for the holidays.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
actually, it looks more festive than I should have put something up.
Adam put these here, and I don't know what they mean.
What is
it? They're like little tree things you probably get at Home Goods or some shit, but it doesn't look as good as yours. Yours looks fantastic.
No,
it's amazing.
It's way better. By the way,
I feel like such a deckhand looking at
Captain Sean. I got a package today. Thank you, buddy. Hooking us up.
Welcome.
Bam.
Worth Avenue Yachts. I don't know. Should I wear the orange or the white? Oh, the white kind of looks cool.
Somebody
the white looks really good on you. Give the orange to Natalie.
Here. How do I make this bigger? Yeah, Natalie already asked which one she can wear running. So she already wants.
Yeah, guys. So Worth Avenue Yachts is a big sponsor for us, and who Sean is also a broker for. But Worth Avenue is, of course, a partially gay-owned yacht brokerage. It is an amazing yacht brokerage. You guys throw the best parties. You guys are the best in your field.
Oh, I thank you.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it's a great group of people that work for Worth Avenue Yachts. But anyway, and I'm glad you guys like the hats. And if any of you viewers out there, we should have a contest where we give away a Worth Avenue hat.
Yes.
Let's say who asked the best question this evening, judged by you,
Queen
and
Josh. Well, according to Tess, Queen Josh should definitely be
all right.
The judge of the night.
All right.
I'm about one comment away from suing.
Good evening, Tess.
I love you, babe. So Captain Sean. Oh, also, thank you so much for last week. I don't know if people saw, but we attempted a really crazy, wacky show where we Jason was with the cast of Below Deck Adventure for Captain
Carey's birthday.
Carrie's birthday. Thank you. It was a fundraiser, and Captain Sean and I were in studio talking to the look. Anyways, you guys got to, if you haven't seen it, you have to check it out. At least scroll through and take a look at some of it.
So much fun. You get a chance.
Day parade. We were watching the floats go by.
Yeah, we were commenting on the floats and the balloons and everything.
It was really cool because, first of all, we didn't expect that many people show up. It was a great turnout, and we've never done anything like that, like Adam and I. So to put that together and have that live thing and have you guys, here doing that while we're there, it was fun. It was very cool.
When you kept calling that thing the patty cam, I just pictured some drunken Irish guy going, "Hey, get out to me, Vay. I'm trying to get the video." Yeah.
If we gave Jason an extra 5 minutes, he probably could have found us a drunken patty to carry the cam.
Oh yeah, 100%. Absolutely. It was a yacht people party, All right, Captain Sean, I have a question for you.
Okay.
We got a few questions from last week, but we do have one tonight, and I feel like this is an easy question to answer, but what has been your most iconic spot that you have captained in, or you've captained in, or captained a yacht in?
Bar none, the Northwest Passage.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be your answer. That was so easy.
So I'm gonna ask it a little differently. For one, which one did you have for you was the most satisfying, which I think is going to be Northwest Passage, but then also, is there a spot in particular that you think of all the places you go where if you could teleport someone there to wow them, this is the location you would take them?
Ooh, good question. And there's a lot.
You get a hat.
You want a hat. I was going to say back to Northwest Passage. I'll say the Bellet Strait when it's filled with ice. That bar none was one of the craziest days of navigation I ever had to encounter. I had everything thrown at me, from like a snowstorm, ice moving at me at 8 knots, bears going by on ice. And then when we got to the end of this, it was frozen solid. We had to punch through miles of ice, and we spent the next probably 3 days just in ice and fog trying to go through that. That was wild. I've never experienced anything. Oh, and by the way, where we were at geographical magnetic north, so the compass was just doing this.
Wow.
And it was that was bar none one of the most challenging things I've ever done, and just impressive on a lot of different levels.
It's impressive that you even did that as many times as you did.
Well, we were the 9th boat in history to do that. So
wait, Sean, paint a picture for us. If I'm looking at that before the fog rolls in, is it just, am I seeing just tons of small icebergs, or what am I looking at? What am I seeing?
Yeah. So basically we were going through a canyon that was approximately about a half mile wide. And then through that canyon, there was this amazing, there's huge tides up there. So we were getting all this flow ice coming at us. So everything from little mini icebergs to ice flows. And we were going into it, and then I'd have to back off and dodge and duck. And then that's where I figured out that if I took a chunk of ice, roughly the width of the boat, and wedged it between the bulbous bow and the bow of the boat, and made it like a battering ram, that I could go actually faster and ice would deflect off that. So that was wild. And then you had the ice just doing ice flows just kind of coming and circling around us all through this canyon. So there's no way, there wasn't any getting out. And once we were in, we were committed, because behind us, it was all filling up full of ice. And then when we got to the end, the ice is completely frozen solid in front. And there was a movie, and again, I got to put this up on YouTube, where it's on Vimeo. It was the original Northwest Passage film that we did, and that shows us going through all this ice, going through the Bellet Strait. pointing out a couple times where we spotted a couple of bears, and then getting through to the other side. That was also right at the culmination of that was the one time I almost got killed. We came out of this ice, sucked the tow line into one of the propellers. So I threw on the dry suit and I jumped off the side of the boat to go in there. Now the water's about 26 degrees.
I was gonna say, like, you jumped in.
Well, I put my dry suit on, but the mistake that I made,
does that keep you warm?
warm enough.
But yeah, I was gonna say.
And so I had thermal underwear and then a dry suit. But the hood that I grabbed, I meant to grab my 7mm hood, and I grabbed a 3mm hood. So I put that on, went into the water, and then to get the tow line out, I was standing like upside down on the hull of the boat, and I'm pulling the tow line out of the propeller. And all the blood rushed to my head, and my head was in this icy cold water. Jeez. And I started to black out. So I realized what was going on. So I untangled myself from the line, swam to the back of the boat, and I got Cliff, the engineer, hauled me on board. And I was hyperventilating, and it was like I had really lost the ability to speak. So they dumped some hot water on me. I got up, went into with all my gear, went into the shower, turned the hot water on, and then it was like my brain got plugged back in. And then once I could think straight, I went back out, and then myself and Shelton went down. It took 2 seconds to get the line out, and then we got back, and then we left.
Good God.
Well, I mean, this is not like Below Deck, right? They just have to drive the boat into the marina and out of the marina, and that's crazy.
So the water is slightly colder than bathtub.
Yes, I do have to say there is an interesting question in here. Marianne Stout asked it, and she said, how long does it take to become a captain? Like from when you take classes and stuff like that. So our new team member who you guys all met last week, if you watched the live, her name is Maggie, and her boyfriend is he's kind of getting his license and being a captain because he wants to run fishing charters. But if you were to do, like, let's say what you or Captain Lee or Captain Sandy are doing, or Captain Carey, how long does that take? And what is the process that you go through to become a captain able to?
So there's a couple of different routes that you can go, and there's also different countries have different licenses. So I'm going to talk about just I have a United States Coast Guard commercial license, which is really kind of the gold. I feel it's the real gold standard of captain's licenses. You can go with this license. You can go operate anything in the world. It's got reciprocity everywhere. Great license to have. So I think. Actually, I'm not sure what Captain Sandy or Carey have, but anyway, I have what's called a Masters Unlimited in sail and power. So I can drive any vessel. I have a license to drive any vessel anywhere, sail or power. Now, to get that, the very first license I got was a 100-ton license, and that requirement was 360 days of sea time. A day of sea time is 4 hours or more on board a vessel of the equivalent tonnage, or it can be a little less or more depending on, I don't know the exact formula, but anyway, that was the first license that I got. And that was an inland license. It meant I could only stay in inland waters, and that's denoted by a line on the chart. Anyway, the next upgrade I got was a 500-ton oceans license, and that took another, to get that license took another 720 days to get that license. And then I upgraded that to a 1,600-ton 3,000 license, and that was another 365 days. And then upgraded that to my Masters Unlimited, which was another 365 days.
Jeez.
So this reminds me of like my friends who got
years.
Reminds me of my friends who got their pilot license, like to fly.
Yeah,
it's all about hours. You got to log hours and hours.
That's it. Yeah, it's just time. Now, the other route you can go is you can go to a maritime academy like Mass Maritime, Maine Maritime, Kings Point, and you get a 4-year degree. Plus, you come out with a third mate's license. And you used to come out with a third mate's and a 1,600-ton master license. I think now you just come out with a third mate's. They've changed a lot of the rules, but those are the different routes that you can get. Now, to run a fishing boat, you can get your first license, like called a 6-pack, or a launch driver's license. And those are the guys that you see, like if, a kid home from school driving a launch, you can get the sick pack license. I think you can just get that. I don't know if there's any, I know you have to get an STCW requirement, but I don't know what the time requirement is for that.
Wow. So this is like a process. It's always learning. And what I've found
you're putting
following
years, it sounds like.
Yeah, years, but also
well, it's not just
educating yourself as you go too. Like I know that you keep current in your education, and so do a lot of other captains, and that's also something that is important.
Yeah, it's then you got to get different certificates, like ship security officer certificate, ship's medical officer certificate. I actually got a cat in Malta, and I was able to ship him to the United States because I certified that he was a healthy cat because I was the ship's medical
officer. So what's funny though is I just want to bring it into perspective for like below deck. So that's what we're talking about tonight though, is that like Captain Sandy coming in to like replace Captain Lee. It's not that easy to be in these positions. It's not like you can call anyone, right?
No, and see, what I'll tell you, the real determining factor, the insurance companies.
Right. We've talked about that before too.
Yeah, and I'm pre-approved with every major insurance company on the planet. So when this summer when I took this beautiful 240-foot Fed ship to Greenland, literally with a day's notice, and they were like, "Oh, we got to get you approved with the insurance company." And I said, "Who is it?" And they were like, "Sturge out of London." I'm like, "Oh yeah, they know me." And they're like, called up the phone. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's fine," and I could go. So, and it's pretty cool. But to have that type of reputation is handy.
Sean, here's a follow-up from Norma. Hello, Norma. I'm giving you a shout out. What happens if you don't have the appropriate license and go where you are not authorized? What is the penalty? A light spanking? What?
You're bad.
What happens if you don't have the appropriate license?
Like if I were to just drive off like one of these yachts right down here in like Safe Harbor, Rybovich, and I was just like, I'm going to go for a ride. Well, I'm sure I couldn't do it by myself, but
if it's a private boat, I mean, if you own it and it's private, you can take it off the dock and go. Now, your insurance company may have something to say about that, but the Coast Guard's like, "Yep, your boat, you crash it, your insurance company is not gonna. You're not gonna. There'll be multiple lawsuits. I think there is. I don't know what the penalty is. There's like people that there was some guy there or something. I can't remember, but he had a fake 100-ton license. And then, or people that this is before the Coast Guard got computerized. There was a lot of guys that had fake licenses, and then the Coast Guard got computerized. And then now you can go online and type in you get what's called a COC number, and you can type that in to the website, and it will tell you if the license is current or not.
Oh, so it's
Jason. You got a license. Do you have a cock number? No? Okay. Okay.
I'm so giddy tonight.
This is good. Sean, people have written you questions. Give us a question that's been written to you.
There was it was one question that was somebody asked me this. Hey, Naughty Yachts. Hey, one question is like, do I ever get scared? And the answer to that question is no. And I don't mean that in like, I'm the greatest or whatever is I don't get scared, but I get very detached when things happen on board the boat, and you have the ability to look at things clinically. If you look at test pilots, they talk about how when they're on the radio, as the plane's literally disintegrating around them, and they're like, okay, we're losing pressure here, you're losing pressure there. And you have to be like that when everything's going wrong around you. Like going back to that incident where I almost got killed in the Northwest Passage. I didn't give it any thought until after like it was months later, and I was like, holy Jesus, like I must get freaking killed there, you know what I mean? And when I was underwater, I was like, oh, I'm starting to black out. I need to get out. I need to get out of the water before I pass out and, you know, and die. And it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm, you know, and I teach rescue diving courses. And that's what we teach them how is like, how do you rescue someone that's in a complete panic? And you kind of have to sit back and wait till they drown. It's very difficult. No, seriously, like till they start to choke and pass out a bit, and then you can rescue them. And because very rarely do people participate in their own rescue, and that is also true in life as well too.
It sounds like some horrible foreplay.
Yeah. So wait, now I have one more question for you, Captain Sean.
Right.
And this kind of ties into the episode we just watched. You know, they were talking about, you know, on the ship, they've got to make use with different things. You have what you have to work with. Some of the ladies were suggesting using an electric toothbrush when in a pinch. You know, do you have any stories?
I've heard through the grapevine that electric toothbrushes can be better than vibrators.
Well,
is that true? They can charge faster for sure, right?
Well, it's funny you mentioned chargers, because how this particular incident came up.
Oh my God.
So basically, and it almost started a fire. So one of my crew was using her vibrator, and she was using it while it was a USB charger, and while it was plugged into the wall, and the charger, while she was using it, burst into flames. So
my God.
So it like melted and everything, and then she was like, "Oh my God!" And it cooked the whole unit. So, anyway, first of all, did it cause any internal damage? Because I am the ship's medical officer. I had to make sure that there was no, third-degree burns or anything that was anything that had happened. No, and so anyway, everything was fine. So she's like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?" And I say, "Well, guys, do you have an electric toothbrush?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I said, "Why don't you give that a try?" And she goes, "Well, that's kind of disgusting." I'm like, "Well, you don't stick the bristle end into the thing." And, I had to kind of explain somewhat the mechanics of it. And then she's like, "Well, how do you know that, that would be a good thing?" And I was like, "Well, it's captains, you have to know these things, and be resourceful."
So everyone, as long as you have a piece of chewing gum, a paper clip, and about 2 feet of string, Sean's got you covered.
I got you covered.
I mean, you're right. This is why it takes so long to become a captain.
Exactly. Norma asked real quick, she said, "Where's the Northwest Passage?" And the Northwest Passage is from the Atlantic Ocean in the Davis Straits, which is up between Greenland and Canada, up over the top through the Arctic Circle to the Bering Strait, which is between the US and Canada. Excuse me, what am I talking about? The US and Russia.
That's
funnily enough, where and maybe I don't know, maybe that's the difference in magnetic fields. That's what set the charger on fire, but you never know.
Well, Captain Sean, we always appreciate your knowledge and your know-how of everything that you do in the yachting industry, because we know nothing. We talk about this every week, so we appreciate it. Thank you for being here, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Well, happy holidays to you.
Yeah. Look at your house.
Oh, thank you.
This is like quintessential Christmas. This is happening.
Thank you very much. You guys have a Merry Christmas as well, and Josh at the end can announce the winner of the best hat. I mean, of the best question.
I was going to say,
yes, we do have amazing hats to give away here from Worth Avenue Yachts, which, I mean, listen, if you want to see some really cool yachts, you need to go to their social media. They're at Worth Avenue Yachts everywhere. And most importantly, if you want to follow Captain Sean and all his adventures, you have to go hit him up on his Instagram at Excitement Factory. It's fun to watch you do your thing.
Adam,
really
Jason,
fun.
Congratulations. You guys have fun tomorrow.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right. Josh?
Talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to
you in the morning.
Tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
We're always texting each
Good
other.
night. It's very good.
Everybody,
Bye,
thank you.
Captain Sean.
See you next week.
See you next week. Okay, that's some great information, especially if you're looking to be a yacht captain, which people are. This is so Sandy just did a big charity event, not just us last week, but Sandy did a big charity event in Miami where she was raising money to provide kind of a platform for kids who are not really fitting in high school or wherever, who don't really have like an option or don't really know where they fit in life, to jump into the yachting industry and kind of provide guidance for that, which is amazing. If I would have known about the yachting industry before I went into the circus, I don't know. I don't know, Josh. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll say this. I know everybody, like, I don't know. I was talking to my wife about this because I have 2 little ones. And I was talking about my son is very like mechanically inclined already. He plays Legos all the time. Stuff. And I said, if my son came to me and said, I don't want to go to college, but I do want to go and get a certificate in like carpentry or something and be like a master carpenter or something, I was like, I would so be behind that. Like I think there's a lot of people getting expensive degrees that aren't paying them what they invested when it comes to the money they spend on college. But like,
Oh yeah,
especially nowadays, people can hardly do anything. Master carpenters and stuff can make 6 figures, make so much money because no one really knows how to fix or build anything anymore. So yeah, someone who's, maybe kid is seen as a troublemaker in class because they're always moving. They need to be moving. They're kind of stuck in class. They're not a sit down and read a book thing. Maybe putting them out in a boat and having them work. Maybe that's the kind of skill set they have, the talents they have, and maybe they'll excel there. So I love the idea of offering people more avenues to
100%
find a career.
And especially if they have work ethic. And when I talk about work ethic, I'm not talking about this situation right here, which we have to jump into and talk about Below Deck. First of all, I asked everyone in the live chat earlier. Let me just get this
Bye, girl.
live chat. Bye, girl.
No, I'm talking about your chat.
Yeah. Do you think Camilla? I was going to say Camilla. I'm thinking about Harry and Meghan right now. Do we think Camille will last the whole charter season?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to say out of literally 70 votes we have right now, and guys, there are 75 people in the room. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. It really helps us out. Everyone thinks that she is going to walk the plank. 91% of you think she's going to walk the plank, which I'm pretty sure is probably going to happen.
It's not a good sign when literally both her bosses, because she does do split duty there, both her bosses do not like her and want her gone. So
yeah, this is an issue. We'll get into talk about that, but first of all, we have to talk about the most important event of the night was the Captain Sandy reveal.
Yeah,
it's pretty iconic. We've seen some crossovers on Below Deck before. We've seen chefs kind of switch over, change over, but never was I expecting to see that one captain from one franchise would come and replace another captain from another.
Now, if that's going to happen on the show, which it did, do you think this was a good switch or a good compromise for a captain?
I'm gonna have to say yes, and I think it kind of, we're 5 episodes into the season, and the season is already off to an amazing start. We have a great cast for television. And I'm not talking about our season 9 cast. I'm talking about this season 10 cast. Because the season 9 was just horrible.
Shut up, Jason. We're moving on.
But I feel like, I know it's hard to move on from that season. It was just so bad. But I feel like we came in with like a really great cast for television. Not necessarily for yachting. But for television, this cast is incredible. And I feel like the demeanor changed when Captain Sandy got there. How did you feel about that? Because it was really sad to watch Lee leave. Like, honestly, like it's sad to watch him leave. We know he is coming back, by the way, guys. He will be back to finish the season. He will be wrapping the season. Will he be back for season 11? That is yet to be determined. I don't think so. But yeah, it was kind of a sad goodbye.
So I'll say this: it was, Captain Lee was incapacitated, so it was kind of like when the cat's away, the mice will play kind of thing. The crew was kind of left to their own devices. No one was watching them as much. It wasn't like they were being incompetent. They were all doing their job, except one person. But maybe everyone was a little looser than they would have been if Captain Lee was up and around. Now Captain Sandy shows up. She is, in the same vein as Captain Sean, is not afraid of rolling up her sleeves and doing some work, just like, Captain Sean's like that. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, the captain is literally right here mopping the floors next to me. Like, uh-oh.
She is working the boat. She's all around the boat. And she is looking
no hiding.
At what's going on. There's no hiding from Captain Sandy. And I kind of love that. And someone who couldn't avoid the hiding was Camille. Yeah. Lord have mercy. I don't know what's happening here. I wanted to like Camille because, she reminds me of one of our friends and a lot of people's favorite housewife, Caroline Stanbury. I mean, come on.
Well,
but she doesn't act like Caroline Stanbury because Caroline Stanbury can hustle, but Camille can't seem to work. And I don't know what it is. She's getting into it with Alyssa. She's getting into it with Haley, but then she is kind of like this person who juggles two jobs, right? She works on the exterior and the interior. But when she wants to choose to work in the exterior, she goes out and she talks to Ross, and then she goes back and she talks to Fraser. And it's just not, there's no communication here. And she's not the one who decides.
Janice brought up too, she didn't even get up to say goodbye. When the whole crew went, she was playing poor me down in the laundry room and stayed there folding towels meekly instead of going and saying goodbye to Captain Lee when he was leaving. It was, she's got a real piss poor attitude. If things don't go exactly how she wants, which we all know these kind of people, we all have these people in our lives.
Yep.
Then it's like, oh, this is the worst and I don't want to. And it's just,
why are you there? We just talked about, with Captain Sean about how it is to get into yachting. Like, why are you there? I feel like Camille is one charter behind Captain Lee for a ticket home.
Well,
I could be wrong. But I feel like it's one more charter.
No, I think she's cruising for a bruising. She wants out.
Cruising for a bruising. I have a question. How do you think that Captain Sandy and Chef Rachel will work out? Because Captain Sandy, she loves her chefs, right?
Yeah.
She really relies on her chefs to bring that experience, to kind of elevate that experience, especially the culinary experience on board is so memorable. We've talked about this with Below Deck Sailing with Chef Marcos. We've talked about it, with Chef Rachel, like last season, season 9, the season that sucked. The only thing that happened was kind of her food. How do you think this relationship is going to work? Because I feel that maybe Chef Rachel was really comfortable with Lee to kind of leave her alone and do her thing. But I feel like Captain Sandy might want to be involved a little bit in this elevated experience.
Well, I'll say this. I think, especially when it comes to the chefs, because it's it's totally out of her realm. I feel like if she is involved, she's there as like the frontline cheerleader / offers to help carry stuff or whatever, or do like cleaning in the kitchen. I don't think she'll get in the way. And I think Rachel will have fun. Like, she's already impressed Lee. She knows Lee loves her. So it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. I think she'll actually enjoy the opportunity to impress another captain. And I think they'll get along swimmingly. I think Captain Sandy appreciates humor. Rachel is funny, but she backs it up with being really good at her job too. I don't know. What are some of the people in the chat saying? Are people?
Well,
do you guys?
Angelique says, question with BravoCon and whatnot. So Chef Rachel didn't go to BravoCon because of a lot of things that transpired before. I don't know where she actually stands right now with Bravo, and I don't blame her for her reaction. But she says, do you think they have ever met before? Rachel and Sandy, I'm going to say yes, because the yachting industry is so small. And if you talk to Adrian or Captain Carey or some of the people we had there last week at our charity event, everyone knows each other. It's crazy. Or even at Captain Sandy's charity event last week, or this past weekend on Saturday, everyone showed up, from Kate Chastain to Below Deck Med cast members to former Below Deck.
Were you guys able to make
They
it?
all
Did you
knew each
go?
other. No, we couldn't because we got we had Adam's brother in town, and they stayed an extra day, so we decided to spend the time with them because it was, it turned out to be a great event though. Family comes first. Family comes first. All right, I have to say, I want to give the MVP to Frasier, especially this episode. Frasier's like, he's this chief stew that when guests come on the boat, charter guests come on the boat, the way he just makes them feel so welcome. I don't think I've seen that from another chief stew. I've seen the tours like, oh, by the way, this is where you're going to be eating. This is where you're going to be, in the hot tub when you're drunk at night with your clothes half on. This is where you're going to, sleep. But Frasier kind of makes this like so entertaining. Like, welcome to the yacht. Let me bring you on board. He just makes you feel comfortable. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Well,
and he adds a little bit of theatrics, which, quite frankly, if I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for, a vacation, I don't mind a little theatrics here. Like, I'd like to feel special and that I'm doing something special. And I think he does a really good job of delivering that specialness that, like, wow, I'm not just staying in a hotel or on, I'm not in a hotel on the water. I'm on a yacht, a mega yacht. So yeah.
I think he's great. I think he might be my favorite chief stew so far.
I mean, I really like him.
I'm thinking of the chief stews right now. We had Kate Chastain, we had Hannah, we had the ones that don't count. Doesn't matter. The Heather, the Francesca, they don't count. And then we had Aisha from Below Deck Down Under and Med. Who else am I missing? You have Faye from Below Deck Adventure. I feel like Frasier is just going to kind of step it up, and I think he's doing a really good job, especially as the first gay chief stew. He's doing us proud, guys.
I mean, we've always liked him since we first saw him the last season. He was on. I think he's a good guy. I think he just seems like a stand-up guy. Like, he seems like a good guy who's got good ethics, is in it for the right reasons. Yeah, I'm 100% in his corner. Like, I want him to succeed to the point where, like, we see him next season. You know what I mean? Like, I would totally love that. I definitely welcome him being the new, go-to for a while.
No, 100%. 100%. Norma says that Frasier enjoys his position and its shoes. I do have to agree.
And its shoes. I love you.
There was another comment in here. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, I like this one too. Someone else mentioned it too, but that was funny when Captain had his radio. That was like a nice touching moment because Captain Lee is fond of taking your radio if you just leave it sitting around. And one of his last interactions with Frasier was Frasier going to get his, one last time his radio from the captain, and they had a fun exchange. I will not let this be the last interaction you have with me and stuff. And Captain Lee was laughing, and
it's such a weird predicament for Captain Lee to be in. It's so crazy because we're so used to this boat daddy, right? And it's so crazy to see him go off the boat like that. It's so crazy. I'm glad we're going to see him because rumor has it, and we're right about our rumors here, that he will be back before the end of the season. He will complete the season. I don't know where he sits as far as going into the next season. I've heard no, but that's very interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting.
I'm surprised to hear because we talk about it, but when they're filming this, it's just a few weeks.
6 weeks.
So that's a pretty quick turnaround for him to recover from, he's talking about half his body being numb and not feeling it and stuff, like nerve damage. So that's a really quick turnaround if we see him within 6 weeks, and a week or two's already passed of the 6 weeks. So
right. So it's like Wait,
3
you're going to be
weeks,
back?
gonna be
Yeah,
around?
you'll be back in
Yeah.
3 weeks. You'll be like, Sandy, I got this. I got it. It is really nice to see Sandy. I know. I don't want to keep talking about that, but it's so nice to see her back. I just feel like in a different environment. We have her in the Caribbean instead of the Med, which is great, with a different crew, a crew who has never really worked with Sandy. I feel like this is a great change up. 5 episodes in. Like, good job, production.
It's good. It's good. This season
It's
is
good.
entertaining. Let's talk about some of the relationships or the interpersonal relationships on the yacht right now.
I don't know. What are we talking about, Ross?
Ross and Katie, Ross and Alyssa, Ross and
anyone, really.
Camille, apparently, next episode it was teased.
Oops, sorry, I put Haley up, but
yeah,
she was not involved in that triangle.
Yeah. It's sad because Katie seems like just a genuinely sweet, nice girl, and she had a little crush, and this Ross dude is just a animal who needs to hump anything that moves.
I mean, apparently he's a boss and not in the right way. I don't know how I feel about Ross yet. I feel like he hasn't let loose yet. And that's,
Yeah, we don't really know who he is.
I think we're going to find out, though. I think we're really going to find out. I don't know if he'll end up with any of them.
Oh, Ross is the new Gary. I don't know. I like Gary. That's the thing.
I like Gary too.
He's got a likable side. I don't know if I think I'd have fun hanging out with him. But Ross,
Gary's the guy who can work hard, play hard, and you really respect him because you see his work come through, his knowledge of the boat and stuff like that. With Ross, like, you can tell he's a good leader, especially when he put I keep wanting to say Caroline, when he put Camille in her place. It was like, listen, you're coming at me, you're yelling at me. You don't know where you want to be, but the communication, it's not about you deciding if you want to be on the interior or the exterior. It's about me and Fraser communicating where we need you. You are the lowest ranking person on this boat. And if you are the lowest ranking person and you're looking to get ahead in the yachting industry, wouldn't you think that you would want to kind of step up and show that I can work hard? I'm good. Wherever you need me, I will be ahead of you. I'll be 2 steps ahead of you.
Yeah, I would. Maybe this is my work ethic. I would want the bosses fighting for my time,
right?
As opposed to fighting who has to babysit me. I don't need her right now. You're good. You could keep her. No. Take her. No, you can have her. No. Then she's gonna have to go switch shirts. Just keep her over by you. It's like nobody wants her, and it's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. I'm liking, though, how, like I said, the demeanor changed when Captain Sandy came on, right? Mm-hmm. You saw like the demeanor completely changed when she walked in for the first meeting. She's like, "Hey, I'm Captain Sandy." Of course, everyone there knows who she is.
Yes.
So, they're all like, "We know how you manage a boat. Like, we're scared. Like, what are we gonna do?" Well, but she quickly checks Camille.
Well, Camille checked herself, kind of, and then Captain Sandy was there to catch it. But Camille is saying things to Alyssa, saying things to Captain Sandy, and it's always when the other person is like just about to turn the corner and she gets caught. She tries to throw Alyssa under the bus by saying like, "Oh, Captain Sandy, if you need me, I'm gonna be over here because Alyssa's making me do all this work, whatever." And then Alyssa's like, "Wait, what? No, I didn't do that," or whatever. And then same thing. We saw a kind of a sneak preview, and Camille says something and blames it on Captain Sandy, but says it over the radio. So of course Captain Sandy hears and immediately goes, "Camille, don't throw me under the bus." And so it's like, ooh, like she's everyone else is the reason. It's never her. She's always the victim. And then to confirm it, she shared with us a story from her past where her principal was just so mean to her that she ended up getting expelled because she stood up for herself and had to get a GED.
That's so crazy. Let me play the smallest violin you've ever heard.
Yeah. There's one thing in common. Crazy. There's one thing in common with all these crazy stories, and it's her. And people like that drive me nuts. I can't stand professional victims. I don't have time for it. I do not suffer fools easily.
No,
Ugh.
not at all. Listen, let me ask you, because we have a great cast. Like, I don't even want to touch on Ben this episode. Because Ben gave me the best present ever. Thank you for taking all your clothes off and walking in front of the camera. That's great. Everyone appreciated that. Ben, I'm changing. I'm sorry, Fraser. You are no longer the MVP. Ben, thank you so much. But we'll move on from Ben because that's all he offered this episode. But Tony is kind of disappointing me here. He's like kind of mad at this whole Anchor Watch thing. I'm like, girl, we do it every Tuesday at 11 p.m. It's not that hard. You know what I mean?
I love when they say stuff like, I want you to decide who gets to be on Anchor Watch this week and stuff. I'm like, those are the clips that I like. If we had commercials or something, we should be clipping those out and playing those lines. Yeah, well, he kind of was whining a few weeks ago with Camille, like, oh, we never get to have fun while we're here at work. And it's like,
Wait. Say that in the same sentence one more time.
exactly.
We never get to have fun while we're here at work.
Yeah, it's like, and so he's mad right now that he has to do Anchor Watch, and it's like, okay, but someone has to. And sorry, it interrupts your morning
Your
3-hour
schedule?
workout.
Yeah, this is called a job,
Yeah,
and that's how this works. Like, is there something in the water after like 93, or when were these people born? Tony and Camille. Like, I'm not really sure, because I'm an 83.
old, Jason. Now
I know I'm an
sounding
83 baby. I'm going to call it like it is. I'm 39 and a half years old. Okay. As of in 2 days. All right. Listen, there's something in the water. It's like, do we not like to work anymore? This is not how I grew up. You know, it's like, oh, I'm in yachting. Like, I'm making these great tips. I am, I don't know, working with some amazing people, and I'm in St. Lucia. But wait, isn't it odd that the Captain Sandy is making the Anchor Watch schedule and not the bosun?
Well, the bosun did assign it. He assigned who did it. He kind of blamed Captain Sandy, like, well, Captain Sandy wants us to do it now. Because one of the things he pointed out was the engineers, who we always see the first episode and then we never see them again.
Yeah.
The engineers have been doing Anchor Watch. Captain Sandy said, wait, that should be one of the deck crew. So
Right.
Ross went to Tony and said, hey, you're on. Captain Sandy said, we got to do this. So it's, in a way, he kind of blamed her, but really it's like, no, we're doing what has been done always on these ships, but you're taking the first hit. I'm assigning you. You're getting it first.
I feel like Tony and Camille are really grouping themselves up into like one little bubble of privilege. Like,
Yeah.
Where did you come from, guys? What did you expect? I need to work out. You're not a guest. You didn't pay to be on this deck lifting your weights. You paid, or you didn't pay.
You're getting paid.
You're getting paid to clean that deck.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not understanding what the problem is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So a lot of people, Josh, before we get into like what we're looking forward to in the next episode, because I'm really looking forward to, well, I'll tell you in a second. A lot of people say, who watches these dumb boat shows? You know, you have a lot of Bravo fans who are housewife fans, and they just want the drama and the craziness, right? And everyone's like, who watches these? No one watches these boat shows. 1.2 million people watched this episode this past week. It is a season high, according to TV Deets, who's a friend of ours. Love TV Deets. If you want to go participate in some really fun polls, see like who's watching what, it has beat every housewife franchise that has aired in the past 2 months. So,
And gets almost as many views as Anchor Watch.
what, 0? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, we've discussed this before, Jason. It's like it is the show. It's the show that's accessible to all the non-Bravo people like myself. I don't watch or understand 95% of what's on Bravo. But this weird little boat show that you turned me on to, it's fun. It's entertaining. My wife and I both like to watch it together. It brings us to Bravo, you know? And I have to think that some of the other shows have benefited from people who were pulled over to watch this. And then it's like, because I know when I watch the show, half the commercials are for other Bravo shows, and they're hammering you on watch this show, watch this show, watch this show, watch this show. So I have to think this like Below Deck is kind of like a gateway drug for people into Bravo,
especially for the straight man. No,
it hasn't hooked me yet. I'll watch other properties, but the other shows just they don't seem appealing to me. But
no, but with Below Deck,
where I could see people.
You're so right, and Sandy, she tweeted, actually her and Captain Lee, and I didn't pull this photo. They have a photo together in Pump Restaurant when I was managing Pump. It was so crazy. They were there. This was 2017-18. And I was managing Pump, and my security guy walks up to me. He's like, "Do you know who's here?" And I said, "Oh shit. This happens to me every week." Sorry, I have a different setup than Adam.
I know. You got to get this camera thing worked out. So the man or your security walks up and says, "Do
you know who's here?" And I said, "No." And he said, "It's Captain Lee and Captain Sandy." I have no idea what you're talking about. That's what I told him.
And yeah, because back then you didn't watch the show or anything, right? You had no clue what Below Deck was, right?
No, I was just working for one of the housewives, Lisa Vanderpump, and yeah, no idea. But they just posted a photo together on Twitter, or Sandy did. I'm going to turn this camera back on if I can.
That's crazy. Well,
yeah,
you got to find that photo and pull it up like next episode or something. So everyone knows it takes a little bit to like load them into this system and stuff. So I don't know if we're going to pull it off tonight, but if we can, Jason, are you trying to upload it right now? Maybe? Or
yeah.
no?
Yeah. I'm going to try to find it right now. I mean, it was just on their page, but Sandy said in her, I mean, if I could pull this up and just, here it is.
Marianne, this is me. I am like your brother. My brother watches all Below Deck. Has no desire to watch Housewives.
Who does sometimes? But Sandy said, like, this is how the Bravo family is. And what I would like to see is Below Deck more integrated into, let's say, the other world of Bravo. We saw Heather Gay from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City come on a charter on Below Deck Adventure, which is kind of fun. We're now seeing a crossover of these very popular and very, very amazing captains, especially for TV. Oh, here it is. We're watching this. I just would like to see more Bravo happen. I would like to see more housewives come on these charters. You're muted, I think.
I think I muted myself to cough. Would it be too much like not real? Because like Below Deck does a good job of showing like real people on their charters. If a Below Deck or if a housewife came on, like they seem pretty aware of cameras and stuff. Like, would it be too?
I don't know. I think it was interesting. Heather Gay really interesting on Below Deck Adventure. So here it is. This is Captain Sandy and Captain Lee, and that is at Pump. This is in a little room in the back that we used to call the Vanderpump room in the back. So yeah, it has all Lisa Vanderpump's quotes and stuff. But I don't know. I love how close the captains are getting. I think it's great. I think it's fun. I think we could do more franchises of Below Deck. We don't just need Adventure, Down Under, Med, the regular one. We need all kind. Where else can we be?
Or what if there's a way to show like almost like a competition, like two of them are competing to make the most tips in a season or something, and we're going, I don't know, going back and forth or something. I don't know, like.
No, that's a different channel. That's not. I don't even think that is like rated for cable television. I think you can put that on cable television. Whatever you competition you're thinking about.
Oh my god, I'm not talking about those kind of tips, Jason. I'm talking about each one earning with more money. Never mind. Good God.
No,
Um,
it would be fun. You can do a lot with this franchise, but this franchise has nothing to worry about. We're already watching the Housewives franchise. They're changing cities, they're moving around. Like some franchises are doing great, some franchises are not. They're adding franchises everywhere. The thing about the yachting industry is it is the biggest, smallest industry I think I've ever seen.
this comment. I think
Yeah,
Housewives would
Marianne's. I think you might be right. I think you might be right. I do think that it is the biggest, smallest industry, and I think you could really, really, really do some more shows of Below Deck.
So here's one. I would like to see more celebrities or musicians maybe end up. That would be cool because I think it would.
Ugh.
It might give us an opportunity to see some celebrities or something like more,
Interact with Captain Sandy.
but also
Interact
like
with Captain
backstage,
Lee.
if you will, like maybe
Yeah.
not on like because if you leave people in front of cameras long enough, they start to forget the cameras are there and kind of reveal themselves. That
Right.
might be interesting to see some celebrities like what they're really like. I don't know,
I'd be
but maybe
interested to see.
maybe it would ruin it. Maybe it would ruin the magic of seeing.
No, it wouldn't. I think it'd be great to see them interact with the different captains. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Are you watching Below Deck Adventure? Yes, we are watching Below Deck Adventure. We're just not covering it. It is great. It's very like raw. It's very like season 1 of Below Deck. You know, like it's a whole different production company. So it's completely different than what we're watching now. End up, I feel like the audience could get involved with live voting on the cast. That would be fun. I mean, listen, this is 6 weeks we're following.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, we always
That's
have to
it.
remind people this is what they're going through is very short and fast compared to the multiple weeks we're stretching this out to.
Remember that it's short and fast. So that's what makes them more crazy. So if you really think about it, they don't have to be on the boat very long. You know, this isn't a jail sentence. You don't have to be there for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You're there for 6 weeks. You just got to do your job. Make the food, clean the deck, show the guests around, make it have a great time. Like make everyone have a great time. Work out, do you. But it's only 6 weeks. It's only 6 weeks.
And we're different because you and I did hundreds of shows for millions of people, and thousands
of shows. We both did thousands.
Oh yeah,
of shows.
yes, thousands total.
It was like hundreds, girl.
Together,
we were still
together
amateurs.
we did hundreds, and but my point is like, yeah, we didn't 6 weeks. That was like we were just getting started. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why our attitude is a little bit more. We're a little more judgmental when they start whining week 3, like, oh, this is the worst. Will I ever have a life again? And it's like, calm down.
Oh, I love him. Where is he going? I'm gonna miss him. Like when Natasha on Below Deck Bed. It's like, girl, listen, you've been through 3 men in like a few weeks.
Yeah.
You have Chef Dave, you have these other guy, you have your ex-boyfriend. Like, we're sick of it. Josh, what are you looking forward to? And not just next episode, but I want to say the rest of the season of Below Deck. Now that we have Captain Sandy, things are getting interesting.
If you remember, when I first started watching Below Deck, you turned me on. So my first captain, the first Below Deck I watched was Captain Sandy. And you kept saying, you're going to love this captain. She's cool, blah, 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 blah. I liked her. I always liked her. So it surprised me before when we started doing the show, and we'd hear the backlash about her. Like, oh, Captain Sandy. I wouldn't watch if that's Captain Sandy. And it always, I think for the most part, the audience has come around, and I think she's grown as a captain. So she's more palatable to those people. But it is funny to me that we would hear that, and I was just always like, what? I was flabbergasted. I always dug her. So I'm having fun seeing my original captain on the main franchise, and I think she's entertaining. So I'm having fun with her. I'm looking forward to that. We get to see more Frasier. He's coming into his own this season. This may be one of the most interesting seasons of watching Frasier, because later he's going to be good at his job and he's going to have it down, and but this is fun because he's figuring out a lot right now. And I feel like Rachel is being I don't want to say challenged because it's not like she's like gonna have a hard time with Captain Sandy, but it's a new environment for her, not having the same captain she's used to. So I think it'll be fun to see Rachel like in a new light, you know. So those are the three people that I'm looking forward to the most, kind of watching and developing this season.
Yeah, the three most
What about
important
you?
people, really. Yeah, no, 100%. That too. And then Ndub said rotate those cast members. Just like you are rotating captains, I would love Below Deck before I told you, or before I tell you what I want to see next episode. But I would love to see Below Deck kind of really shuffle the cast members. We've heard through the grapevine that Toomey will be alongside Kyle and Below Deck next season. That is a shuffle. We just shuffled her from Below Deck Down Under to Below Deck Med. She is amazing. I don't know if she is going to be the chief stew or what role she's going to take, but that's great. I love how we're switching captains. I mean, I feel like you can do this in the yachting industry. It's not like Housewives. You can't just, oh, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like one of them just went to New York and now she's a Real Housewife of New York. It doesn't work. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Here, everyone has that kind of talent, that background, that discipline, so they can jump onto another boat, you know? I think it would be really cool. But I have to agree with you. I want to see how Sandy handles this crew until Lee comes back. And I feel like everyone will be on pins and needles until Lee comes back. Because Lee, he's a great captain, but he kind of gives them their freedom to make mistakes. He gives them their freedom to, you're in charge of your department. Do it. Sandy gives you the same freedom, but she's watching you and she's going to check up on you. She's going to ask questions. She's going to be in your department. And that's what makes it different.
I think most people need that. So I look forward to watching that. I don't think not everyone's super self-motivated or good at keeping themselves in check at times. So
yes,
I welcome that.
Yes, I 100%. Guys, before we go tonight, I do want to thank so many people. First of all of our mods, all of our subscribers who are here. I mean, listen, every week we have almost 100 in the room. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. It helps us out a lot. And hashtag Below Deck. We love Below Deck.
Well,
but wait, what?
Congratulations, Jason. Or I'll congratulate you when it's done. Don't want to jinx anything. But tomorrow, Jason and Adam are finally getting married. So
we're getting hitched. It's happening. It's just happening.
And you know what, Jason? I'm one to talk. Natalie and I were together for quite a while before we actually got married. And I will say, I wasn't sure because we lived together in a lot of ways. We were, bound together, financially and stuff. We went ahead and did a lot of stuff. And so I was like, is it going to feel different when we're married? I will tell you, it totally felt different when we were married in great ways. And so I'm excited in a few months to talk to you and Adam about that. Like, how do you guys feel now and stuff like that? I think, I don't know.
It's going to be fun. I mean, listen.
Well, and the world treats you differently. It's different when you say my husband as opposed to
my fiance, my boyfriend. No, 100%. I feel like I'm really excited about it, because I feel like things will change. Hey, Angelique, thank you so much for the super chat. I get a split job duties. I worked at Hooters, then stagehand with a Hard Rock in Vegas. Oh, okay. Camille could never put her on the dinghy. Bye, Camille. It looks like that's what's going to happen. What I think is going to happen with the situation, before we get back to what we were talking about, is they're going to figure out they don't need that extra person that they thought they needed, and they might just get rid of that position.
Yeah.
Completely. And be like, the deck crew is good. The interior is good. We don't need you. Go home. And by the way, Hooters and Stagehand in Vegas, if they were both in Vegas, those are very difficult jobs. So we salute you, Angelique.
Angelique, do you still live in Vegas? I lived there for years performing. So maybe I was there while you were there. Interesting.
That was a long time ago, Josh. That was like Frank Sinatra was still performing in Vegas when you were there.
Okay. Calm down, girl. Calm down, girl. All right, you need to get to bed. You need your beauty.
I'm going to get to bed, but before I do, speaking of Below Deck, if you guys haven't listened to Captain Sandy and her partner Leah, if you haven't listened to their podcast, it is actually really good, guys. Go listen to it. You'll get to know her a bit better too. I think that's really fun. And then if you are listening to Hot Messy Podcast, today's guest, and we have put this on YouTube as well, was Kempire, and we go through just kind of everything Bravo, BravoCon, Real Housewives of Miami, just everything you can possibly think of. So go check that out.
If there's someone to talk Bravo with, it's Kempire. I mean, between him and Adam, I don't know what they don't watch. So
I really don't. Like, I was talking to him, I was like, so do you guys have a life? I know Adam doesn't have a life because he spends all his time either watching TV or in front of this camera at this desk. But yeah. Can Captain Sandy fire another captain's crew? Yes, she is the captain of that boat at that time. She can do what she wants. She is number one in charge.
Fingers crossed we see it happen.
I hope.
Yeah. I would love if like her gift to Captain Lee when he gets back is hey, I axed that dummy that was.
Well, Captain Lee has been pretty vocal about Camille on Twitter.
Look at this, Jason. I think.
Oh, thank you,
and
Elaine.
There's an emoji on YouTube.
So I do want to give a big shout out to a lot of our Anchor Watch crew: Elaine, Norma, Joe, Trish, anyone who's on here. Also, Elaine sent me this great glass that says Mr. Right on it, which is really nice.
I love that.
Yeah, it's actually great. But they got us a very nice gift, and we received it today, and we really appreciate it, guys. It's we're getting married tomorrow. It's crazy.
What time is it going down so we could all think of you? Do you guys
in the afternoon? You know, tomorrow's the winter solstice, right? So this is the first day of winter. It means new beginnings. Norma, thank you for helping me out with that date. But yeah, it's gonna be fun in the afternoon.
Okay. So we'll be thinking about you in the afternoon.
Yes.
I'll probably stupidly text you like right in the middle of it or something, forgetting that you're doing it at that time, and you'll be like, idiot, bothering me.
Why are you texting me right now? All right, guys. Well, next week we will not be here, but we will be back in the new year to cover Below Deck Season 10. So wherever we are picking up, I think there is an episode next week. There might not be. I think there is. There is an episode next week. But
okay. Well, we'll see you the week after, everyone. We're taking off.
We'll see you the week after. Right after the New Year's, we'll be right here to welcome you guys, and we'll have a good time. I can't wait. Josh,
Merry Christmas and congratulations. I'll be talking
Merry
to you.
Christmas. I'll be talking to you too.
Yeah. Love you, buddy. I'm excited for you too.
All right. Thank you, guys. And thank you guys. Have a great night. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, mods. Thank you, all the subscribers. Thank you for commenting below. Let us know what you're thinking about Below Deck, especially with Captain Sandy, like on season 10 right now. It's amazing. And also, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
So long.
No, I just keep waiting to see what you're gonna do.
I was trying to get some of these.
All right.
Not working. Okay. Oh wait. Oh.
I didn't even mean to do that. Have a good night, guys.
Love you guys.
Hey, Josh, are you still there?
Are you really doing this to them? Please.
Yes.